It's up, up and away on tonight's episode of Randall's Comics. And, you know. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Randall's Comics. And, you know, hope everyone's having a wonderful week. Let's get this Wednesday knocked out, get on through to another great weekend. And tonight, we got a new Superman movie coming out. So, I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and break out I've been doing all Marvel here recently. So, since I began my channel. And I do have a DC, quite a lot of DC. And I said, well, let's crack out some of the Man of Steel tonight and get the party rolling. Because, like I said, we do have a new Superman movie coming out. And I said, now would be a good time to kind of go over, my Superman and just see how the character has evolved through the years. Let's see here. Superman is a superhero created by writer Jerry Siegel and artist Joe Shuster. I did a little story about them later in one of my earlier videos about how they weren't really compensated, and they I think after the movie came out in '78 they were discovered in like living almost say in squalor, and they tried to make things right. I mean DC and the movie studio. First appearing in the comic book Action Comics #1, that classic, Superman with the car smashing into a rock, published in America on April 18th, 1938. Superman has been regularly published in American comic books since 1938 and has been adapted to other media, including radio, serials, novels, films, television shows, theater, and video games. Moving right on along. Superman was born Kal-El on fictional planet Krypton. As a baby, his parents, Jor-El and Lara, sent him to Earth in a small spaceship shortly before Krypton was destroyed in a natural cataclysm. His ship landed in the American countryside near the fictional town of Smallville, Kansas. He was found and adopted by farmers Jonathan and Martha Kent, who named him Clark Kent. Clark began developing superhuman abilities such as incredible strength and impervious skin. His adoptive parents advised him to use his powers to benefit humanity, and he decided to fight crime as a vigilante. Superman's not a vigilante. I mean, he's doing good. I mean, vigilantes just go out and, anyway, I don't like that part. Anyway, rewrite that. To protect his personal life, he changes into a colorful costume and uses the alias Superman when fighting crime. Clark resides in the fictional American city of Metropolis, where he works as a journalist for the Daily Planet. Superman's supporting characters include his love interest, fellow journalist Lois Lane, Daily Planet photographer Jimmy Olsen, and editor-in-chief Perry White. And his enemies include Brainiac, General Zod, and arch-enemy Lex Luthor. Yes, who can forget Lex Luthor? Now, like I said, Superman has been portrayed in television series, throughout the years. There's been a multitude of Supermans. Me personally, before I even picked up a Superman comic book, it was Christopher Reeve as Superman. That's my Superman. It's kind of always been my Superman, not for what he did on the screen, but as well as he did off the screen. When he was, of course, paralyzed in that tragic horse riding accident, and how he lived his life up until his death. He was really portrayed. That's being a real Superman. Overcoming a disability and inspiring millions with his example. So, I mean, to me, that's always kind of be my definition of Superman. And like I said, my dad, he grew up watching George Reeves in like the '50s and those old black and white serials. And there's been a multitude of Superman, like this small screen TV as well as movies. Of course, there's a Nick Cage. There was supposed to be a Nick Cage Superman, but I don't think that ever came to fruition. And of course, do have a new Superman movie coming out, and I think that movie come out sometime in July, and yeah, July 11th. Okay, right around the Independence Day weekend. Smart thinking. Superman, America, American flag. Perfect. So I said, you know what? Let's kind of crack out my Superman collection, and just take a look at it and see how the character, the artist. I mean, the art, the cover art, the stories have evolved over the years, and then a large portion of this is going to be like my Death of Superman and the subsequent crossovers into other books. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and start viewing my Superman collection. Up, up, and away. Alrighty, we've landed and we've gone into our phone booth and we've changed into the Man of Steel. Now we're gonna come crashing out that brick wall. Superman number 50. Nice issue. Back to full power. Okay, I didn't know he was at part-time power. Then we have a Reign of Superman. It's like, I don't know, is that Superman's little brother or anyway? Then we have The Adventures of Superman, number 505. Nice Daily Planet in the background. Then we have The Adventures of Superman, 506. And then we have Adventures of Superman, number 507. A newsie, The Adventures of Bloodsport. I don't think that gun's going to work, but unless you find kryptonite bullets. Alrighty, let's remove this stack. Moving on to, we're getting into our Doomsday stack. This is Superman in Action Comics number 684. Doomsday. This is Adventures of Superman number 497. And we have 2 copies of that. And of course, there's Doomsday, and there's Superman giving him a headbutt. And then we have Doomsday again, another 2 copies. Just like everyone there, Justice League, they're all trying to take down Doomsday. This is issue number 74. 2 copies of that. And then we have, let's see here, we have Superman, the Man of Steel, Beginning of the End, Doomsday. Yeah, I think they kept him in some type of containment suit until like at the very end. It was like a big buildup, until they actually brought him out, and of course to the world. Next, we have Superman, Man of Steel, number 19, and there's Doomsday out of his costume. And then, of course, we have the book that spawned you know, the Superman all in black cover, dripping the blood. You know, that's the Death of Superman issue that caused a media frenzy where everyone was going out and buying, multiple copies of Superman. Of course, I was one of them because here's another one. 2 of those bad boys. Then the Death of Superman, number 75. Next, we have Funeral for a Friend. Superman, Man of Steel, number 20. Number 3. Superman, number 76. Funeral for a Friend. Number 4. Batman, Leading the Wake. Green Lantern, Funeral for a Friend. 5. I guess they're building a statue of him in memory of Superman. Let's hit Control Alt Delete. Funeral for a Friend number 6. There's Supergirl. She don't know what to do with herself. Her cousin Kal-El is gone. We buried someone in Superman's tomb. Who's buried in Superman's tomb? Hopefully Superman. Yeah. This is Funeral for a Friend, number 83. Epilogue. Nice newsy. And then of course we have The Adventures of Superman number 500. This is that white cover where, he's returning from the dead, Or was he ever dead? He's Superman. This is of course 500 without the white cover. And then we have a reign of Superman. This is where a bunch of other individuals will come in trying to take Superman's place. And, here's the first one right here. Reign of Superman, Man of Steel. And this is busting out. Then I think didn't Shaquille O'Neal try to play Steel? Well, he is a big guy. And we have Superman, the Man of Steel, number 22. Little die cut cover there. Man of Steel is back. He's back in silver or black. Superman, Man of Steel, number 25. The real Steel deal. This is where all those different Supermans are just coming in. This was DC's. Of course, they're going to cash in on this, this Superman frenzy. Here's number 26. I think they had a clone of Superman, and they had this dude in his iron suit, and Superman, Man of Steel, number 27. Blowout. He's swaddling the child. Superman, Man of Steel, number 28. It tickles. All charged up. Okay. I won't go there. And he's dead again. Well, DC was really playing with our emotions. Come on, Smokey. Playing with my Superman is like playing with my emotions, dog. And we have another reign of Superman. It's the cyborg Superman. Choking Doomsday. 78. Wow. And let's do Control Alt Delete again. We have another reign of Superman. Number 78. No, number 78, y'all. The Man of Tomorrow is back. What happened to the Man of today? Or the Man of yesterday? There we have Things Are Booming in Coast City. Reign of Superman. He's number 80. Then we have Reign of Superman number 81. Supermen United. So this is all the different Supermans. Those super ladies. It's back in the 90s, so they weren't that progressive yet. Well, we did actually have Supergirl, but yeah. Reign of Superman, back for good. Number 82. Like it's the real deal Holyfield Superman. Look at that nice cover there. Nice foil cover, foil highlights. And we have The Adventures of some more Reign of Superman, number 501. The Metropolis Kid is back. Another die cut cover. The Adventures of Superman 503. It's like Superboys. Don't send a boy to do a man's job. I got this cannon foe. And we've got The Adventures of Superman number 504. Superman in Action Comics number 687. Born Again. Who's going to cut the umbilical cord? Maybe Lex Luthor. We can have him on Maury. He is the father. Then Superman in Action Comics number 687. The Last Son of Krypton is back. Ugh, and you need like a flow chart to keep track of all these books, crossovers. Then Superman in Action Comics number 690, Reign of Superman, Total Eradication. Wow, this is a Hollywood Superman. Got his Ray-Bans on. Let's Control Alt Delete. Then we have 691, 692. It looks like Clark. And always trying to find a closet to change in. Number 693. Kryptonian No More. What is it, man? He's been he's a naturalized citizen now after they electrified him. Superman in Action Comics number 694. High Tech System Overload. Okay. Don't know what that one is. Here's some more Superman number 84. Toyman Plays for Keeps. I think Superman's back by now. Oh, nope. He's dead again. Gravy. Let's bring him back already. And finally, Man of Steel number 1. I guess this was all the buildup was for. Alrighty. And that does it for my Superman collection. And let's move on to The is are you gonna go check out the new Superman movie? That's coming up next. All right. Thank you for joining me on tonight's episode of Randall's Comics and Appreciate you watching my Superman review tonight. And if you like what I brought you tonight, this Superman presentation, please smash that like and subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I release new content. Are you gonna go check out the new Superman movie? You know, I'm gonna go check it out. It's James Gunn. He did a really good job with Guardians of the Galaxy. They say he's supposed to be like taking over and like breathing life in the DC movies because DC's been kind of stop and start, helter skelter as far as their bringing in characters. Or Marvel did a much better job that first phase, second phase, as far as introducing the Marvel characters. And but I am a little curious to see how James Gunn is going to handle this Superman release. That second trailer looked a little bit better than that first trailer. I may would have led with that one. As far as he getting asking some tough questions about what gives him the right to intervene. But like I said, he's from America. He intervenes on behalf of America for truth, justice, and the American way. And in today's climate, some people will take that as an offense, but you know, I mean, to me, Superman's coming from a good place, a decent place. He wants to do good, not for, just for those here in the United States, but humans, people around the world. So, he's not just, belongs to America. He belongs to the rest of the world. That's just my take on it. Anyway, thank you for joining me for tonight's episode of Randall's Comics. And uh, please join me next week for my next episode. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I don't know. I may do another DC, maybe Batman. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for joining me. And like we always say here on this channel, peace. And you know what? We're definitely going to fry it in some fish grease. You guys take care.